Hello everyone and welcome to Western New York Tonight. Streaming live on LCTV.net and LCTV Channel 20 for those listening to us today on WLNF 90.5 FM on your dial. I'm John Lombardi, your host, and with me are two people that really need no introductions. I'm going to introduce this first guest of mine. He's been a longtime friend of mine. This man is the most community-minded cheerleader in the city of Lockport. He is more well-known than the Erie Canal itself.
Oh my God.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have in here today Mr. George Fritz. Hi, George. How are you?
Good evening. I'm great.
And next to George,
Oh boy.
we have a very dear friend of mine who is the Businesswoman of the Year. She owns Cream and Sugar with her husband, and this is Jessica Dittly. Hi, Jess.
Hi, John.
You know, I was really worried about this show until you two walked in, and it was like all the worries just went away.
Well, trust me, John, you're not going to have to talk at all.
And that's what we're hoping for.
Yeah, right.
Well, people don't tune in to listen to me talk at all.
Yeah.
But we are talking Mural on Main Street.
Yes, we are.
And this is something that how long has this been coming about, George?
This effort began
Yeah.
last August. So it's been a long haul, lots of
almost
twists.
a year you guys have been doing this.
It has
Yeah.
been. Lots of twists and turns, and we've learned a lot in this past year, and we're very excited about it.
Can you explain to the people that there's got to be one or two people that really doesn't know what Mural on Main
There
Street
are.
is?
It surprises me because, you know, we've been talking about it for a year. It just surprises me when I run into somebody that knows nothing about it.
Really?
Yeah, all the time. There's a giant blank wall in the center of downtown Lockport facing the new parking lot. And it's 42 feet high, 60 feet wide. And we're trying to bring public art, a professionally painted mural that will fill the entire wall. It's something that Lockportians will be able to enjoy summer, winter, and for years to come.
This will be a part of history that represents history.
Absolutely.
But you said 40 by 60?
42 feet high by 60 feet wide.
It's an awful big mural.
It's a big wall. Yes.
You know, Jess, we talked about this before I think the committee even came together. We were going to
Absolutely.
throw you on an extension ladder and let you spray paint something.
Well, thank God you didn't.
Exactly.
Because this position is much better being part of the committee. We have some really fantastic art that was decided on. We did a lot of research into what the context of the mural was going to be, what it means for the history of Lockport, and what it means for the present day Lockport, and what it'll mean to our kids in 50 years from now to say that my parents were part of that. We did that.
That's
so
amazing.
It's pretty great.
It is. One of my questions was going to be later on, but how long does a mural like this actually last, George? Do you have any
It's
idea?
probably going to safely to say 20 years.
Is there any maintenance that has to be done to these?
After 20 years, that's probably when some maintenance is going to have to happen. You know, there may be some touch-ups, you know, there may be some paint
Sure.
flaking off, you know, but it can easily be done. And I'm sure once it's up there, people are going to love this thing, and they're going to want to maintain it. And we're hoping to establish a little bit of a budget for maintenance.
Perfect.
Right.
You know, everybody's always looking to donate somewhere. I mean, I don't know if they're looking to donate.
Right.
But when it comes to
Well-
you, Mr. Fritz, people
Well-
can't say no to you, sir.
In this community,
The most kind-hearted people.
like no other community that I know, we have some of the most amazing people, you know, who have decided to be a positive force for their community, and just they stepped up and some amazing things that happen. On my way here, on Main Street, there's a group of volunteers that were planting flowers in the median. They don't have to do that.
Great people.
Yeah, they
Great
don't have
volunteers.
to do that. The people who got together to make the Cornerstone Ice Rink happen, saving the Palace Theater. You know, so many other communities lost their old theaters, and people here stepped up and made it happen. And there's so many examples of that. The hydraulic raceway effort that's going on right now.
And the things that people are bringing to the community all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, we want to talk about the mural, but the electric building and the group that's involved
That's
in
what
that.
yeah.
And then, the hydraulic race, now Mr. Callahan has a zip line adventure ride that he's bringing to Lockport, which is...
And that's fantastic.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, anything
Exciting.
to promote and bring.
And the restoration of the original blocks You know what?
Long time coming.
Yeah, that is just the most awesome thing to experience if you go down on a Saturday and watch it in operation. It's
Pretty staggering.
It
yeah.
is absolutely amazing.
Well, before we have that, we have to have the drum roll to bring that in.
Okay.
But,
Okay.
I was talking to somebody about a week or so ago, and we were saying how great an individual you are and a community-minded man that you are, and the fact that you're always behind some promotion of sorts, not only for your own business, but for the community itself. What better person to experience a mural on your building? I mean, this is something that is so great, George, and
Well,
you're part of it.
Absolutely. Well, technically it's not my building.
No.
But you know, the idea is that it faces Main Street, and it faces that parking lot. It can be seen from a block and a half away, and you can see it from the canal, you know, from even further.
Right.
So, you know, people that are passing through, tourists that are going through the canal, it's going to tell people that there's something special here, and it's true. There is something
40
special.
by 60, they'll see that for miles and miles.
Absolutely.
This city has so much historical heritage, and again, I think it's amazing what you did come up with. But can we back up just a little bit with the artists?
Yeah.
When this all got started, how did you go about selecting the artists? We talked briefly before the show started. How did the committee come up with the idea of whom to go towards?
Well, the criteria was that we wanted it to be professionally done. So we wanted somebody that had experience, you know, doing a large-scale mural. It's a big wall.
Right.
And, you know, we also wanted someone local. And we wanted something, you know, that sparked the imagination a little bit, you know. We all have seen the packet boat being towed through the locks by
Right.
a mule. And that's a great image. There's nothing
Sure.
wrong with it. But
It's been used
you
quite
know,
a few times.
just something that sparks a little imagination. And so the long and winding road, you
Yeah.
know, brought us to the current rendition. So Augustina Droz is our muralist. We did have, it started out as a collaboration, and that went on for months. And it became clear that it probably wasn't a good idea from the beginning. The two artists, you know, who were both amazing, amazing local talents, they were different styles, and,
Okay.
and they didn't mesh into one clear message. So Augustina Droz, she has done murals all over the world, and all over the United States on a very large scale. Her title is muralist.
I was going to ask you,
Yeah.
what's the difference just between muralist and artist or painter?
She's a fine artist, and she has some works in some pretty amazing museums. She actually has an art broker. Personal work is phenomenal, but as a muralist, she dedicates herself to public art, displaying community visions on public pieces.
So it's more than an artist.
It's more than an artist. She's an advocate for the community. So she has been an advocate wherever she has traveled. She just got back from Colombia about less than a week ago. She was gone for 3 weeks. She took 3 weeks away from her husband and son to work with a small community in Colombia to put this painting on a wall, and worked with
That's
students. And it was
terrific.
pretty amazing. So beyond her abilities as a muralist, she really embodies everything that we want this mural to become for the city, for future art projects, for future generations to embrace the idea that the city is more than its history. There is a future here as well. And
Very well put.
art is really a bloodline to a new city, and that's exactly what we need.
And Lockport is a new city. It's
It always
becoming a
is
new
new
city.
city, yeah.
Now, her outlook on the decision, I mean, was this her design, or was it a collaboration of the committee and her?
There was a lot of input, but you know, it's coming from her and the committee, I guess. Would you say?
Yeah, we met with local artists. We met with,
Which you are one yourself.
thank you for the
No, you
recognition. We met with city officials. We met with the historians. We met with community members just to see what really is iconic about the city, what they would love to see in the mural. It has a decided style that the final piece is going to have. Right now we've been displaying the sketch of the overall idea. It's a loose sketch, it's the preliminary sketch. There's going to be some really beautiful stylistic pieces. There's going to be a lot of realism in it as well. So it's really going to embody a lot of different art styles that come together really, really beautifully, that'll transition from historical to modern day art, which is really nice, and that's another bonus to having Augustina as part of the project.
This mural is going to transform Lockport.
It will.
It will.
It will. We're not used to that. We're not used to. We're not used to a beautiful piece of
Shock
artwork,
value alone.
42 feet high, and people are going to love it. They're going to want to drive down Main Street, just
It'll
to see
become
it.
not that it's not a destination point now,
Right.
but this is just going to enhance the whole experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think people right now are watching, saying, "Hey, could you give us
is
an
this?
idea what it looks like?"
Well, I thought
That's
maybe
beautiful.
this is the rough sketch of what it's going to look like.
I love the lamppost right in the middle there.
Well, this is kind of photoshopped onto the wall, so you can see what it would look like on the wall. As you can see, it's going to fill the entire wall. But if I can reach over the top here, the goddess that appears at the top is actually a throwback to a 1910 Raphael Beck poster.
Really?
That he did for Old Home Week. That goddess was holding electric wires in each hand because they were very excited about creating electricity on the canal. In this case, our goddess is holding two vessels
I
of
see that
water,
now.
which symbolizes the wetting of the waters, when DeWitt Clinton took a jug of water from the Hudson and poured it into Lake Erie in the opening of the canal. The gears here represent the engineering marvel, that the locks were, because everyone said it couldn't be done,
Right.
and proved them wrong. What I think is really cool here is in the background are these schematics of things that were invented in Lockport. For instance, you see the fire hydrant here,
Right.
and parts of the steam engine. So
Wow.
you've got that represented in the background. And we have some historical figures, in the front. And these figures they're not anyone in particular. They just represent history. And our thought was, we have so many famous people, we couldn't possibly squeeze them all into one mural. But that picture that you've seen of the canal workers, who actually built the canal? They're sitting on the steps. That iconic picture that we've all seen 1,000 times. We don't know their names.
No.
And they're the ones who built the canal. And then in the four corners, it just kind of represents, well, of course, the locks.
Right.
And that's why Lockport exists. But in the four corners, a little nod to present day. Like some of the famous historic buildings in Lockport, that's Old City Hall.
That we're transforming into new business. So they're not
Right.
just
Oh, yeah.
museums or shells of the past. They're
Absolutely.
current day buildings.
Yeah,
being
and very
used.
vital.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The Niagara wine trail down in the lower corner. And then we have very popular bike path along the canal, which is a very big use of the canal now. And all the rich produce that's grown in Niagara County. And this is going to be painted in a very realistic style. That's Augustina. That's what she does. Her style is very realistic, and
So this, just so that I understand a little better, is just more of a sketch.
This is a
There's going to
sketch.
be more detail
yes,
oriented.
These people are the figures
Right.
are going to be photorealistic, black and white. The center of the locks itself will look like a photograph, and then the goddess will be a little bit have a slight Art Deco sort of feel.
Yeah.
That's an example of work Augustina has done.
That's amazing.
She's incredible, absolutely incredible at what she does.
I love that. I mean, you feel like you know her. And that's what's going to happen with these figures. And these are real people from Lockport that posed for us in a
Okay.
photo
I
shoot.
did see that on
Right.
Facebook, I think it was.
Right.
We had a local photography club take the picture. So there's a really nice amount of community involvement even to this point in the image.
We've got to take a break right now, so we're going to come back and let's touch on the fact that we've got more community involved than most people would know.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a break for a couple minutes here. We'll be right back with Mural on Main and my good friends George and Jessica. I'm John Lombardi, and we'll see you in just a couple. Welcome back to Western New York Tonight, streaming live on LCTV.net, LCTV Channel 20, for those listening today on WLNF 90.5. I'm John Lombardi, your host, and back with me is Mural on Main Street, Mr. George Fritz and Jessica Dittly, and thank you very much for being here today. We need to bring the public into this. They need to understand, and as we talked earlier, George, people, they have been donating, they have been doing what they need to do, but maybe they're getting a little lax, and we're at a point where, let's talk about the cost of the project and where we're at as far as that goes, please.
Yeah. Well, the budget is $30,000, and just about half of it is just stuff, you know, like insurance and
Equipment?
The boom lift, and you know, the paint, and you know,
Things that you wouldn't think.
things that you kind of have to have.
You just think that
Paintbrushes.
someone's just going to go in there and just start, you know.
Paintbrushes.
I mean,
So
we're hiring local companies to do, it needs to be a base coat before the mural goes up. And then after the fact, for weather protection and anti-graffiti, there's going to be a 4-coat protective barrier that's put on top of the
Oh,
painting
really?
as well. So it'll be really easy to clean, and it'll prolong the life of the painting as well. So there's some preventative measures that are fit into that budget as well. So the expenses are far beyond what we're going to be paying our artists,
Right.
which we know is very important to the artists.
I mean, you're not writing a
actually
check
get.
for $30,000 to the artist.
No,
It's just,
absolutely.
I mean, some people even said, well, $30,000, well, nobody's worth that. Well, believe me, they are, but she's not getting that.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, artists should be paid.
Oh,
You know,
absolutely.
I mean, we wanted a professionally done mural, but yeah, you're right. It's
You've got one of the best.
yeah.
And there's so
Oh,
much
that's beautiful. Good.
time invested beyond what she'll spend on the lift painting it. We've had countless committee meetings, and she's been to most of them.
Is she a local?
She lives in Buffalo, so
Oh,
she travels
terrific.
much further than the rest of us.
She's
to
just
meet
it's
the
35
committees.
minutes up the road.
Yeah.
And you know, she knows Lockport like the back of her hand now, and the committee members are pillars of the community, really.
Sure.
Some people that have really done some amazing things in Lockport. Ellen Martin.
Oh,
Dave,
I love Ellen.
Yeah, yeah.
She's the best.
Dave Kenyon.
Mm-hmm.
Kathy Wood from the Discovery Center.
Melissa.
Jay Crow. Melissa Dunlap. Oh, what a hard
There's
worker.
a worker.
Yeah.
She is a hard worker and an angel.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Got a great group.
and they've all put together so much time, so much effort, you know, and you know, we both have businesses, you know, to run,
Right.
and you know, our payment is the feeling that we are a positive force in the community.
Without a doubt.
And we're bringing something beautiful and that will be appreciated.
Like I said earlier, creating history about history. And it's going to be a beautiful thing. We have to talk fundraising. We got to get the dollars coming in, George.
Yes, we do, because we're close. I mean, we've had an overwhelming, it's been a fantastic level of support. Hundreds of people have donated, and you know, it doesn't matter how big or how small. Big is always good, but $5 at a time, every $5 donation, helps. We've got about $7,000 left to go. And
It's always the toughest.
that's the toughest because people are looking at it, oh, they're going to make it, they're almost there. But, the mural will not go on the wall, without that $7,000. So if you are the one, that has not contributed yet,
We're the one.
we need you.
We need them to do it right
We
now.
need you. And there's plenty of opportunities, to, you can be permanently listed on a bronze plaque. There's 3 different levels, silver level for $500, a gold level for $1,000, and platinum for $2,000. Platinum, silver, how do you think I came up with it? How did
How would he know any of this?
Right. And that may sound difficult, but you know what? Our class of, LSHS class of 74 came up with it, with $5 at a time donations.
Oh, terrific.
So get your group together, and you can do it. We're having, you want to talk about the cruise, the paddle boat cruise?
On Thursday, July 2nd, we are hosting a paddle boat cruise of the Erie Canal, followed by hors d'oeuvres, a cash bar. There's going to be live music. It's going to be a super fun party. I'm going.
And the artist will be there.
Augustina will be there. We have some really...
Will she be signing any?
We will be selling signed prints for
Perfect.
$25 in that. All the money is going to the mural.
Perfect.
So you get to meet her, ask her questions, and it's going to be a great, fun evening.
Well, we want to let them know that it's $50 a person.
$50 a person.
And how can they get their ticket, Jess?
You
How can
can
they get their ticket?
you can go on muralonmain.org/events.
Okay.
See, that's why I bring him to these things.
And
But it
just-
says you can also call Dave Kenyon, which I'm sure he's real happy to get all those phone calls.
Well, he is.
He is
He
happy
really
to get
is.
those phone
Here we
calls.
go.
Oh, and he's got his number on there. Great. Yeah. So
Terrific.
give him a call or muralonmain.org, and you can pay by credit card.
That's a really easy process. It goes
Right.
through Square, so it's really nice and secure. We also have a couple other ways. So there's the signed prints that you can purchase currently at the Historical Society, Mills Jewelers, or Cream and Sugar. And there may be a few other places that have them as well. But there's
Augustina's got to sign a couple more before. But
I'll call it. And then at Ticklebridge, we have Mike Weber did a Connect the Dots of the locks.
That's what I was going
And
to ask. Is that the puzzle?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and $10 of that goes directly towards the Mural on Main project, which is incredibly generous.
Explain
Of
the.
him.
it's the world's largest Connect the Dots.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
And he's actually hosting a event, part of the sesquicentennial celebration, for people to complete the puzzles and color them and submit them in. So that would be a great day to buy your puzzle and help donate.
Who comes up with these ideas?
All the artists. We're an art-driven city. So it's pretty amazing that now we get to project it onto the biggest canvas we can find. That
Who
we're
would have
here.
ever thought?
Yeah.
It is amazing. Can you still get the stock certificates?
Yes, that's the other thing. In denominations of $5 at a time. So you decide how much you want to donate, and then you'll get a personalized souvenir stock certificate with your name on it showing your level of contribution. And you can get that at Mills Jewelers, Ticklebridge, the Historical Society, and I think you can also get it on the muralonmain.org website.
Well, you've also got a fantastic Facebook page too. I mean, it's so informative. That's where I got all my questions. Was just rolling right down George's Facebook page, and you've got a few things going on yourself. Do you have? Is there a little party with George? Is that part of this too, or is that just something that you just wanted to do to bring all your friends together?
That's
George?
just why I wanted to bring all my friends.
Oh, okay. All right.
Right,
Well,
of course, there's going to be
there'll be a lot of those
some
people
art
there.
people there. Those
Yes,
people will
those
be there.
people will be there.
Right? Yeah.
as long as they bring their checkbook.
Yep. So
Well, we've got about a minute left. I think we've covered everything we need to. The website again?
muralonmain.org. We're going to be at the Taste of Lockport on that's the 5th of July.
Yeah.
And we'll have Mural on Main t-shirts for sale.
Perfect.
For $30 a t-shirt.
D&T Graphics, another set of amazing artists, helped us out with those. So it's just more community helping community.
It's fantastic. Well, I really want to thank you guys for being here today. I learned so much about this that now we can go out and we can spread the word, and we should be able to knock that $7,000 out of the park.
Yes, help us out, please.
It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you've been watching Western New York Tonight, Mural on Main, with my friends George and Jessica. Stay tuned for more great programming from LCTV Channel 20, and we'll see you next time.
Western New York Tonight is brought to you by Pruden and Cant Funeral Home, located at 242 Genesee Street, Lockport, New York.